29.97 drop frame versus non-drop frame. In the previous video, I mentioned that 29.97 FPS is sometimes referred to as being in quote drop frame and quote non-drop frame. Why is that? Well, we learned that due to technical limitations, color television was broadcast at 29.97 FPS, as opposed to the previous standard of 30 FPS for black and white. By slowing playback by 0.1%, 0.1% of frames are added into the timecode counter. Now, with such a subtle difference, only 0.1%, you might think that that difference is negligible. However, as some math will show us, 30 FPS should give us 108,000 frames per hour. But 108,000 frames at 29.97 FPS does not equal 1 hour, but 1 hour and 3.6 seconds. It's important to note that a 1-hour video is not actually 1 hour and 3.6 seconds. There's just a problem with how timecode is counted. Drop frame counting was devised to recalculate timecode to compensate for this difference. Frames of video are not actually dropped, only the counting of frames within timecode. We should have 1800 frames per minute. 1.8 frames are added per minute, or 18 frames every 10 minutes. So if 2 frames are, quote, dropped from the count every minute for the first 9 minutes in a 10-minute period, and the 10th minute is left untouched, a total of 18 frames will be dropped, and the frame rate will match up with real time again. Here's a little chart you can pause and look at to better visualize the process. To recap, 29.97 non-drop frame is counting every single frame in a slowed down playback in real time, leading to an extra 3.6 seconds every hour. It is indicated with a colon between the seconds and frames counters. 29.97 drop frame doesn't count 2 frames every minute for the first 9 minutes in a 10-minute cycle. After every 10-minute cycle, the frame count matches up with real time. Drop frame is indicated with a semicolon between the seconds and frames counters. While the technical difference is good to know, the most important part is to understand what you should be looking for in a video file's information, what the timecode should look like, and finally, what your DAW frame rate should be set to.